Alright guys, this is the video for your place value and rounding notes. I'm going to be going over what you need to fill out on your notes, and then I will show you where to glue them into your notebook. So make sure you have found this piece of paper in the DIY folders and that you have gotten your notebook in front of you. Okay, we're going to start with the place value chart right here. So I'm going to push my notebook aside and zoom in here so you can see a little bit better. Okay. Now, this is just a chart that has a whole big number on here, okay? And in each column, we're going to label what place value that number's in, okay? So we're going to start with the whole numbers over here that we're more used to, I think. And we're going to start right next to the decimal. So I'm going to turn this to the side so I can write a little bit neater. And you guys know me, I've already got all my colors ready so I can have some colorful notes. So if you would like to do that, make sure you have colored pencils in front of you or markers or whatever you would like to use. So first, we're going to have this 1. This 1 is in the ones place. Makes sense, right? So we're going to write ones here. Make sure to write nice and big and nice and neat so that you can go back and read these and use your notes. Okay, this 8 is in the tens place. Okay. Next we have the hundreds place. Okay. Following the hundreds we have the thousands. Thousands place. Alright, and then we've got the 10,000s. Okay, after the 10,000s we've got the 100,000s. Gotta write pretty small for that to fit in there. Now remember, that's not as far as they go up. These are just the most common ones, so we're gonna leave it at that. Now you notice there's a blank here where the decimal is. I want us to write the word "and" there. And the reason for that is when you're reading a decimal off, okay, so if I were to say 756,981, and where the decimal is, I would say "and" then I would begin with this number. So we're going to write the word "and" there to help us remember how to read off a decimal. Okay. Now starting on the other side of the decimal, closest to the decimal, we have the tenths place. Notice there's no once place. It starts with tenths, so remember that. After the tenths, we have the hundredths. Okay. After the hundredths, we have the thousandths. After the thousandths, we have the 10,000ths. After 10,000ths, we have our 100th thousandths. Right, really small on this one. And after our 100,000ths, we actually have our millionths. Notice millions would also be the next step up here if it were available. Okay. So now that we have this handy chart, anytime you're asked to find the hundredths place, you can simply count over here where the hundredths is, and then you can find it on the number you're looking for. So this will be a very handy thing in our notebook. Now I'm going to move on to rounding for now, and then I will show you where to put this chart. So on this rounding chart, okay, you notice it says find the place value. Okay, that's the very first step. So if you're like me, I like to number my steps. So I'm going to put a number 1 here, and I suggest, I would think it would help you as well. So I would number this number 1. So when you find the place value, it gives you an example here. I want you to underline it. So an example of this would be round to the nearest tenths place. Okay? Well, it says tenths place, so I have to find where the tenths place is up on my chart. Well, it's the first number after the decimal. So I'm going to go to my problem, and I'm going to underline the tenths place so I remember where that is. Okay? Now, the second step is to look right next door. Okay? So that's what this arrow is drawn here for you. We're going to look right next door to what's underlined. And that number is a 1. Okay? That number is going to determine whether we round down or if we round up. So, step 3 here says 4 or less, let it rest. 5 or more, raise the score. So it's a little rhyme there for you to help you remember. So what it's saying is when you look next door at this number 1 here, I even like to box it sometimes. If it's 4 or less, we're going to let it rest. Is this 4 or less? Yeah, it's 1. So it's less than 4. So letting it rest means we just drop it off. We let it rest. So when we round this number, it ends up just being 4.8. Okay? So then we have another example. So if we found the place value of tenths here and we underlined it, we look right next door. Well, this number is a 5. The second part of the rhyme said 5 or more, we're going to raise the score. So this number 8 here, we're actually going to raise it to a 9. Okay? So if it's less than 5 here, if it's 4 or less, we're just going to drop it and leave it at an 8. If it's 5 or more, we need to raise this 8 to a 9. So there's your 2 examples. Alright. Now, it is going to be time to put these notes into our notebook. Okay, so we might not all be on the same page. Okay, I'm on page 8, it looks like, 8 and 9. But that's not necessarily going to be the case for you. It all just depends on if you did the cut and paste last unit or not. Okay? But in order to get some examples done, I want us to cut this in half, right down the middle here, in between the 2 things. We're going to put these on different pages. Okay, so cut down the middle with me. Alright. This one will fit nice either way. I'm going to put mine vertical. Okay. Okay. Now this is barely going to fit, but I do want it on mine to be horizontal because we're going to do some examples down here together. So take your glue stick with me and go ahead and glue those on. Don't forget you can pause this video at any time if you're falling behind. Okay, now remember one of the most important things about our notebook is to title and number our pages so that we can keep up our table of contents. So what I'd like you to do is take your pencil or color pencil, whatever you're working with, and I want us to title these. So this is going to be our place value chart. And this over here is our rounding steps. Okay. Now I need to go back to my table of contents and make sure that you have both of these pages numbered. Mine are on 8 and 9. Yours might be page 7. It might be page 10. But it's whatever it is, you need to have them labeled so that on your table of contents you can label them the correct thing. So I'm going to go to page 8 and write place value chart here. And on page 9, I just put rounding rules. And I just realized I haven't put my cut and paste in there yet, so I'm going to put that on page 7. Okay. Alright, now I am all caught up. Make sure you have followed all of the directions in this video. Following the video, I'm going to give you a couple questions. Anytime there's examples with the notes, I'd like you to work them right under here with the notes right there for you, and that way you can keep them and reference them when you need them. Alright, thank you.